Good morning. So today we celebrate St. Francis of Assisi. So praise be to you, my Lord. What St. Francis of Assisi can teach us about today, about creation. So St. Francis of Assisi, born in 1181, Assisi, Italy, died on October the 3rd, 1226, Assisi, Italy. Found in custody of a Holy Land Franciscan order of friars minor, secular Franciscan order. So we are going to learn a little bit about St. Francis of Assisi, what can we learn today, so what he can teach us. First, he lived a simplicity life, he lived very poor, and he loved the creation. St. Francis of Assisi was walking along with some companions one day when he spotted a flock of birds gathered in a near field. He moved toward them, and surprisingly, the birds did not fly away. Francis proceeded to preach the birds, and for their part, the birds actually seemed to be listening. Francis reminded them of all the good gifts God their Father had given them, feathers so that they could fly to the heavens, nets for their shelter, and nobility all their own. Francis admonished the birds that they should constantly praise their Father for his many gifts to them. A number of stories recount how Francis spoke to animals and plants or looked out for their welfare. He is said to have preached to a cluster of lilies, enjoying crickets and song. He and they took turns praising God. On one occasion, he was about to preach to a gathering of people, but some birds were making such a racket that he could not be heard. He asked the birds to quiet down for a bit while he gave his sermon, since they had been praising God with their songs already, and now it was his turn. Immediately the birds became quiet. Here is how his first biographer, Thomas Astellano, described the attitude which Francis viewed other creatures. When he found an abundance of flowers, he preached to them and invited them to praise the Lord as though they were endowed with reason. In the same way, he exhorted with the sincerest purity cornfields and vineyards, stones of forests, and all the beautiful things of the fields, fountains of water, and the green things of the gardens, earth and fire, earth and wind, to love God and serve Him willingly. Finally, he called all creatures brothers, and in a most extraordinary manner, a manner never experienced by others. He discerned the hidden things of nature with sensitive heart. This unique relationship that Francis had with nature cannot be written off as naive romanticism. Pope Francis wrote in his 2015 encyclical Laudato Si. So today our reflection about St. Francis of Assisi is to love our creation, to respect our creation, what we see around, the nature that God has given us. He called the sun, brother, sun. He called everything brother or sister. And so we can learn from St. Francis of Assisi to love the creation, to love nature. One way we can help us to love this creation, our environment, is to we can place the trash. If we see any trash anywhere, we can put it in a trash can. So we can put it into a place where it belongs, so we can help our nature. Also, if we have animals, make sure do not neglect them, because St. Francis of Assisi, he found God in those creatures, the cat, the dogs, all the animals we see in around of us, like in the nature, the plants, the flowers, everything. So we hope we can be like St. Francis of Assisi, to see and find God in everything. And in the way we live also, live with simplicity, and share with the poor. Share with the poor, because they need a lot. Maybe we have a home where to live, but some people, they don't. So we can share with them what we have, we can share with them. So thank you for listening to us, and God bless you, and have a blessed day.